we have evidence and proof that Kevin Franke was part of starving his children alongside of Ruby. The police knew and did nothing about it. And when a police officer stepped in to help, they fired her. What is going on and what is happening here? Guys, make sure and click the plus sign. I'm going to have more on this you don't want to miss. Sound off in the comments and tell me what you think. What I'm about to show you right now comes from Julie Louise 1975's live stream that she just recently put some clips out. And this is police officer Katie Ann, who allegedly, which it looks like this is the case, she was a part of helping get Shari into the home and getting things removed from the home and then facilitating getting those things to Kevin. So allegedly, she's the police officer, the female one in the video talking to Kevin when Kevin is just HELL bent on pressing charges against Shari. Now, in other videos, she's talked about she went through that home and there were certain signs and plaques up about have you earned the right to eat food today? Which, considering the case, that seems like absolute proof that he knew what was going on and was complicit in this. And we've seen it in the videos. She's explaining why he's not getting charged and why he's probably going to walk scot-free. And she got in trouble for reporting it. Take a listen to this and we'll discuss.
If Kevin's going to be held accountable for what he did, it's going to have to be Springville that does that.
A former police officer with the Springville Police Department explains that if Kevin Franke is going to be charged with anything, it will have to be Springville Police Department that does it.
What really needs to happen is Springville needs to do an investigation into the stuff that happened in Springville. Because technically right now, Kevin's not charged with anything. Kevin technically hasn't done anything wrong. He gets to look like this innocent father that is just trying to get his kids back, that didn't know what his wife was doing. And unless Springville does something to prove that he was complicit in it, he's probably going to get these kids back. Because he's not being charged. He's not being blamed for anything. The judge can't keep him from getting his kids back if they don't have a reason.
We know from the 8 Passengers vlogs that Kevin was complicit in the past, but it doesn't look like anything will come of that. Let's listen to Katie explain.
It's possible that Springville will feel some heat and pressure to investigate the situation depending on people's responses to the lack of the investigation into Kevin. St. George can't charge Kevin because he wasn't even down there. He had nothing to do with what happened in St. George. So they can use those tapes and stuff as evidence to show like pattern and history for Ruby and possibly Jodi. I doubt it because I haven't seen Jodi on any of those videos. But that's all that the vlogs and the evidence online is good for St. George. If Kevin's going to be held accountable for what he did, it's going to have to be Springville that does that. And we know based on Springville's pattern on, how they're disciplining me for referring a family to DCFS.
If you don't know what she's referring to, go watch my previous video where she explains what happened with another LDS family.
But they're probably not going to do that because it largely revolves around the religion and they don't want to put a negative light on that, which is weird because it's not their religion's fault.
In my opinion, she's saying the Springville Police Department is essentially covering up abuse that's happening among LDS families. Is this why Kevin has never been charged?
First of all, if all this information is true that she is saying, my heart goes out to this police officer. Her name is Katie Ann, and she has put that out there. Now she's comfortable with us saying who she is. So to Katie Ann, my heart goes out to you. I feel so bad if this is what happened, that you were actually trying to help. And these people, this police force has been awful because they are minions of the Mormon cult. And good on you. And Katie, if you were the one that reported this and you did all this, regardless of what the outcome was, good on you. We need more cops like you. And I'm happy to hear that. And I will tell you guys, this actually makes a ton of sense. What she's saying makes perfect sense. And I think this is why Kevin hasn't gotten charged. And what we keep hearing is, well, he wasn't involved when they found the children and he had been away from the home for 13 months. But we've all been screaming, what about all the stuff that happened and how he was a part of hurting the kids before that and all those videos? What about all the evidence in that house that would suggest he did know? Now, granted, maybe that's not enough to actually convict him of anything, and maybe the police just don't want to go after. I mean, think about this. How many times were the cops called to Ruby's house over the years about this stuff? Nothing. I think it was somewhere in like 13 times, somewhere in the ballpark. It was a huge number, and they still did nothing. And is that because the police force is in bed with the Mormon cult? What do you guys think about this? Tell me your thoughts. Sound off in the comments and click the plus sign. I've got more coming.